I do not like Valentine's Day because it reminds me of when I was young and I used to dread it because it was embarrassing because I never got any cards. But now I'm happily married, Nathan is on cameras, and so let's make a cake. This cake has got a lot of sugar, I warn you, but it is a delicious cake for once a year. So I've got dark muscovado sugar, 150 grams, and 150 grams of caster sugar, and also I've got 100 grams of unsalted butter, which I've added into my mixer, and I've been blitzing it up because it takes a while because you want it light and fluffy. I'm going to add 4 eggs to the equation. Now, I always like to add a little bit of flour to the mixture so it doesn't curdle, but I am lazy, so I do this in 2 stages. Mix that in a little bit. I've got 300 grams of self-raising flour and 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Now I've split it up because in the middle of it I'm going to put in some baking powder. So mix in your eggs a little bit, stop, and then add in some of your cocoa powder and flour. And then add the rest of your eggs. To the batter, I'm going to add 130 grams of dark chocolate, very good quality, and also 4 tablespoons of dark treacle. And melt that down. Now once it's combined and mixed in together, use an oven glove because it's quite hot. In fact, you should let it cool really, but I'm not going to. You're going to add that to the batter and then mix that in. So with this recipe, you can halve it and split it into 2 cake tins. It'll be a thinner cake, but more of a traditional celebration cake. If you follow this recipe, which is quite a lot of cake batter, then you can split it into 3 tins, which is what I'm going to do, but you get a big cake, but a tall cake as well, which is very fashionable at the moment, quite on trend, and looks, I think, really, really nice. It will feed a lot of people though, so it's entirely up to you. You're splitting the mixture into 3 cake tins. You can weigh it, but I don't bother. I mean, you should really, if I was selling it, I would, but this is just for us, so I won't bother. Just do it by eye and then get them as even as possible. Sure. The tip I would give when frosting and decorating a cake is to make sure your butter frosting is super soft, and also that your cakes have completely cooled. The reason you want your butter frosting nice and soft is then it will tend not to lift off the crumbs on the cake, and it will just spread over really evenly. This is called a semi-naked cake because it is Valentine's Day after all. And the reason that is I'm going to cover it all in frosting, but then actually take the majority of it off. So add my final layer. Always use your favourite layer for the top of the cake. Now I've stacked the cake, I'm going to cover the whole thing. And I'm going to put quite a lot on to start with, and then take a lot off. So the semi-naked, you can see why it's called that now, because you can semi-see the cake through the frosting. So just want to check that it's even, which I should have done earlier, but I didn't, but luckily it's pretty even anyway. And then I'm just gonna take off the last few remaining pieces, and I try and keep the spatula close to the cake on an angle, turning it round so it's nice and even. So once you're happy with it, what I'm going to do is the next stage, which is to use the melted chocolate, which I've allowed to cool, and I'm going to pour that on top. That should be enough. Probably too much now, but never mind, never too much chocolate. And then gently edge it towards the sides of the cake. So I'm using a dark chocolate for this drizzle, but you can use white chocolate, you can use candy melts, which are all different colours, and that's very popular at the moment. This is where you want to really lick the spatula. but I won't, not on camera anyway. So now to just add a little bit more decoration because it is Valentine's Day. So I know you shouldn't really add anything non-edible to a cake, but I don't care. I'm going to throw caution to the wind and put this rose. You can get crystallized rose petals as well actually, and they look really pretty, but they're really expensive. Now where can I put that? I think just there, creating a bit of height, and another one. Oh, it just dropped off, but that's all right. There, I think. So I've handmade these roses. These are made from sugar paste, and we've got a tutorial on our website about how to make them and on our Cocoa Box YouTube channel. So I think just there, yeah, that looks pretty. I think this little rosebud tucked in there will be beautiful. Yes. I don't think I'm going to add anything else to this cake. I think this is the perfect semi-naked, I hate Valentine's Day, Valentine's cake.